This advice is the most consequential one because of its impact, and with my humble experience was also the most difficult one. See, you alone are responsible for your life, your friendships and your work. And if you don't like them and want to change them, you can. You must become the CEO of your life. And how you would do that is by knowing your what and your why. As individuals, as entrepreneurs, you'll work many hours each week and sometimes get appreciated and sometimes get little thanks. So you must be clear about what I want to do and why I want to do it. It's best if you were as transparent as possible. And once you achieve that, and once you finalize that, you will be able to set yourself an action plan or a personal development plan that will take you closer towards your personal ambitions and help you achieve your motivations. See, when you deeply, truly commit to your ambitions and your personal motivations, the grind, the efforts, they just become part of the game. If you can think of anything else you'd rather be doing with your time, and I'll repeat, if you can think of anything else you'd rather be doing with your time, then what you're doing today is a mistake. Do you know that each success story is actually a testament to someone's strong character and his or her desire to rise above all challenges? But why do you think it's like that? For me, because no success story in this world has not had its shares of ups and downs. People see the ultimate and they also go through a rough patch, and that is normal. What would have been abnormal was if they continued to see only the good. Life, unfortunately, does not work that way. Success, unfortunately, does not come that easy. Like they say, success usually comes to those who are not too busy looking for it. In fact, it would be best if you went through the pain to achieve what you want. And how you would do that is by remembering one golden rule. And that is constant for every success story, that pain is temporary. It may last for a minute, for a day, a week, month, even a year, but it will eventually go away. It will eventually subside. And now here's the thing to remember, that something else will take its place. Remember, the rough patch will diminish and something new will take its place. Now what that something else is in your hands. If you quit, however, that pain will stay forever. So you're not going to lose because of pain. No one is ever lost because of a setback. You will lose if you refuse to get up when you're knocked down. So it's best to always consider yourself as seeds, never trees. No matter how tall or big they can be cut down, but as seeds, no matter how many times someone puts you back in the soil, you will always grow back. Remember that the end of each pain is a success. It's lurking just around the corner. So don't give up. You will receive career advice throughout your life. Some bad and some good. What you do with the advice you receive is up to you. But in some instances, it can prove to be invaluable. So 2 humble tips to my young friends. Firstly, never complain when there's a lot of work. I see youngsters getting irritated when assigned more work. It would be best never to complain when there's a last-minute assignment or a strict deadline. You are lucky. Be thankful there's work to do. The heartbeat of your career is going up and down. Otherwise, it might be a straight line. Remember, when something becomes easy or routine, it is a clear sign you're not growing, and you must continuously grow. Second, nowadays the pace of business is fast and the energy required is exhausting, but our brain needs exercise each day. So seek new knowledge and become a student of the industry, become a student of your profession, become a student of the work that you do. Remember that learning something new is a privilege we can ill afford to sacrifice. So take some time out and continue to learn. Thank you. Today I'd like to address the gentleman at the top, very humbly and sincerely. Everyone needs tips, trust me. So this one's for the bosses. And my request is that you must focus on continuous progress, constant progress, rather than perfecting your respective organizations. Success does not come overnight. The rise towards your vision is long and steep, and at times only you can see it. So don't come hard on yourself in pursuit of perfecting your respective workplace. Start climbing. Start climbing and you'll realize you're on a never-ending hike. It is best if you strive for constant improvement, building the required momentum, not perfection. And trust me, this perspective, my friends, will not only take you forward, but will convert the average into excellence. Thank you. Happiness is something that we all strive for. The major roadblock to our happiness is the negative energy around us in various forms. While it's nearly impossible to remove negative people, thoughts, and situations altogether, because as humans we'll always have good and bad days, the good news is that we can choose to strip away the parts of our lives that make us feel low or the people that bring us down. To a great extent, it is in your control if you want it to be. One way is, of course, to surround yourself with people who inspire you, boost you, and help you realize your full potential. But unfortunately, we cannot remain in that bubble forever. We wish life was that easy, right? But we must learn not only how to deal with the other kind, but find a way to escape from that toxic group, because they're contagious like a cold. We must be able to identify them. And it's not that challenging. I'll give you 3 signs. Number 1, they are pessimists. They can never see the brighter side of life. Even on minor things, they think of the worst. Whether it's road traffic, weather, or even food in a restaurant, they would imagine everything going wrong. Stay away from them. A second sign is that they complain a lot. Negative people are serial whiners. They think the entire human race is against them. And they are like this due to all the injustice towards them. They would complain about the pettiest issues possible. So keep them at a safe distance. And I'll give you one more sign so you can identify them quickly. Negative people never move out of their comfort zone and are hesitant to experiment. Why? Because they cannot face the possibility of more fear, discomfort, challenges, or failure. They're always caught up in their dull and boring zone. Run away from them before they kill your career. So today's learning is that in order for us to remain happy, do well, and progress in our career, we must be able to identify the negative energies around us and stay away from people who are scared to lose. Stay away from people who complain. Stay away from people who have a negative mindset. And you would do well in your career. Cheers. A lot of people ask me what work-life balance is. What does this term even mean? First and foremost, I think it's essential to know what this term does not mean, because the phrase itself is kind of confusing. I personally don't like the word balance connected with life, work, as for me it forms an image of a juggler on a seesaw, trying to balance life, career. I mean, this is a hefty burden. What if any drops and you can't afford to drop any? Life is fluid. You cannot schedule the same amount of time for the 2 most important aspects of your life. It is not a timetable kind of endeavor. What works for you today might be ineffective tomorrow. It changes often and in every stage of your career. And that is the prime reason why work-life balance can never amount to a 50-50 situation or a balance between your work life and personal life. It is more of an equilibrium state where one effectively does not balance but integrates career demands and those of their personal life. It's like work-life harmony or synergy or an integration, and that's precisely what it means. And it defines how well a person prioritizes individual and career demands. How do they successfully integrate them both? quite a few ways to create that elusive harmony. Some methods work for specific people, while some approaches work for others. What's effective for one may not necessarily be helpful for you. So you have to select and deploy what drives you, what motivates you, and what's easier for you to implement, and maybe more than one approach. So I'll quickly go through a few approaches that you may find useful in integrating your life and career demands. First and foremost, you need to set boundaries, clear ones. This is critical in creating that essential synergy. What is your this is it, your borderline? 2, you need to create rules and even follow them. It is a must to define work things that you cannot do during personal time and personal chores you cannot involve during your work routine. Keep reviewing the rules to ensure that you actually live by them. Third approach, you must determine what qualifies as a genuine emergency, because an emergency can call for you to break boundaries or bend the rules, but it must be an emergency, not firefighting. Fourth, for me personally, consistency is vital, as it is in most cases. So be consistent with your actions and adhere to your rules and maintain boundaries. Do not backslide lest you start all over again. And last but not the least, please take breaks. Give yourself regular breaks from work to avoid stress and burnout. Schedule time for everything and spend enough time on personal and non-work related activities, ideally known as the me time or the happy time. Follow 1, 2, 3 or all of the 5 approaches if you like. Implement them in your life and you'll be to integrate your life and career demands ideally.